everybody, this is Sherry with CPR, Craft, Pray, Repeat, and I've gotten a lot of questions about my pan pastels, and so I wanted to try to answer them. Michelle from This and That with Michelle had a lot of questions, and I told her just for her, I'd do this video. So here we go, girl, it's for you. And, alright. When I placed my order for these originally, I ordered them in sets. That was dumb. First off, I'm not an artist. I'm a crafter. I can't even draw a stick figure. So, I mean, I do not need all of these. And unless you're an artist, you don't need all of these either. And so, the first thing I would tell you is decide what kind of die cuts you like to work with. Do you do outdoor scenes? Do you do you know, do you do shabby chic? Do you do, what's the color you use most, which is normally your favorite color, stuff like that. And then you say, okay, these are the ones I need. Now, I do outdoor scenes a lot, so I needed browns and I needed greens. And to be completely honest, I use these to put in shadows, alright? So if you look at this, this is so light. These three right here, they're not going to put a shadow. And if the paper's colored, you're not even really going to be able to see it for a highlight. So if I could go back and redo this, I would buy these three for my green ones. And that would be it. And they are, hold on, I took the lids off so that I didn't blind you all with glare, but I don't want to flip them over and lose them. Okay, this one is Chromium Oxide Green Shade. This one is Chromium Oxide Green, and this one is Permanent Green. Those are the three greens I would have purchased. This palette, so far I've used two. These two reds. And I don't really like purple, but I like to do things for my friends, and sometimes purple's their color. And so, I did add a couple purples. I did get a couple oranges. And I'm hoping that come this fall, maybe I'll use these. Now this one, I'm not sure how it's going to go on. It may go on too light. So what you need to do, in my opinion, which I am no expert, but if I could go back, I would invest my money in the darkest colors. Because those are the ones that are going to give you your shadows. And the two reds that I've used here, let me put my lid back on, sorry, is Permanent Red and Red Iron Oxide, right there. So, I mean, and then for the blues, I've used that one. And it is Ultramarine Blue. Figure out what the majority of your craft is. If the majority of your craft work is outdoor scenes, then I would say get your greens and browns first. All right. If you do shabby chic, then I would say invest in, a purple and one of the reds, because if you put it on, you have to be light-handed, but you can make it pink. It doesn't have to be bold red, okay? And, the same with the blues. If blue's your color, then invest in some of the darker blues. But there was, I didn't know anything about them, and I thought, well, gee, I must need to get them in these sets because that's, they sell them like that, so that must be what I need. And it really isn't. It really isn't. If I was an artist and I was going to paint with these, yes, I would need more. But I'm not. And so I did get all of mine through Amazon. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find the best price I can. If it's Amazon, it's an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more, but it helps me out a little. But I'm going to research and try to come up with the best price for you. Because if I put a link for something in my description box on my channel, okay, I can promise you it's the cheapest price I could find. You know, I'm not saying I didn't miss something, but it's the cheapest one I could find. Because crafting is an expensive hobby, and we need to help each other out as much as we can. And so saving some money, you know, is a big deal when you're a crafter. But you know, these lighter colors, they're just a waste of my money. I will probably never ever use them. Now, I did use this one to make a background, you know, to make the sky, which was pretty, but I prefer to just use blue paper and put clouds on, you know, or stenciled on with inks. And that's the thing. I mean, if there's a color that you don't have, like the grays, I did an owl the other day. Well, I could have just used my inks for all the more I was going to use it. I could have just used, you know, my inks. I didn't need to invest in 1, 2, 3 shades of gray, and I only used one so far. So, I mean, I'm going to put the browns in order of which I think are the best, and the ones that I use the most. The same with the greens, the same with the blues, you know, the reds, all of that, so that, you know, you've seen me use a lot of these. So, you know, you can look and say, well, Sherry, you know, seems to use this brown more than any of the other ones, which I do. This is the brown I use the most, and this is the burnt sienna extra dark. And so, you know, if you want to invest in one, do that one, because you're going to get a different look based off of what paper is underneath. If you look at this, the little bear and the tree, I used that same pan pastel on both of them, but because it's different colored papers, you get 2 completely different looks. And so definitely my suggestion is to, you know, get them individually, you know, get them a few at a time, you know, picking and starting with the ones you know you're going to use the most. And you know, and I got, the first set I got was a flesh tone, and they had a set that was all these browns, all different browns, and they were all dark ones. And my daughter's like, Mom, I don't know if you'd want that. Well, I would have it a bit better than, because these 3 right here came, this one came, and I think that one, flesh tones. And I've not used these. They're too light. So I will link what the cheapest price I can find. If it is an Amazon link, it will be an affiliate link. And I just want to be upfront and honest about that. I will put in order the ones that I use the most. So if you know you want the blue, you'll know that when you go to the very first one on the blue, that's the one I use the most. And here's the brush that I use. It is a number 2 filbert brush, and it's nothing fancy. I can't really even tell you. That's what it looks like. My daughter, I asked her to go to the store one day when she was in Lake City and to pick me up a couple, and these were on clearance, so this is what I got. So really, absolutely nothing fancy. If I can find a good price, I will link that for you as well if I can find one. Now, if you're going to buy them individually, you will not need these little pans, because every one of yours will come with a lid. But when you buy them in sets, you get them like stacked up, and only the top one has a lid. So I had to go and get their palettes so that I could see what I needed. But this is it, guys. I mean, just think about what you're going to use. realize that the darker shades are the ones that are going to put our shadows in, and that's what we want. And, you know, go with the colors that you think are your most used colors. You know, you may not need browns. You may need, you know, more blues or more greens or more purples, you know, but just realize that the darker the color, the better it's going to be. And because we are laying in our shadows, not our highlights, our shadows. And that's what makes the difference with these. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get off here because I don't want this to be so long that everybody goes crazy, and I just want to get the information out there, because besides Michelle, there were several other ladies that asked, and I just don't want to see anybody make the mistake that I made and waste your money, because I mean, there's just so many that I have not used and will not use, and that was a waste of my money. You know, I would have been better off buying them in the individual pans, getting exactly what I needed. And, but that is it, guys. And like I said, they're not cheap, but if you only buy the ones you're going to use, and they'll last a lifetime. I have used that brown more than any of my other colors, and I've not put a dent in it. You can see the little brush marks on the top. And so, I mean, this will last me 10 years. So, you know, think about that too, that when you purchase it, whatever, you know, it may be $8, but it's going to last you 10 years. That's 80 cents a year. Okay, and try to break it down and justify. That's how I justify things in my brain. It's 80 cents a year, Sherry. You can do it. But, all right, I won't keep you anymore. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, put them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And because, like I said, when I looked, I couldn't find anybody who wasn't an artist that was using these, and that was really difficult for me, because I'm not an artist. But so if you are an artist and you're very talented with colors and things, then yeah, you're probably going to want them all. But if you're like me and you're a crafter, plain old crafter, nothing fancy here, you don't need them all. All right, and I wish somebody had told me this, so I hope this helps. All right, if you have any more questions, like I said, put them in the comments below. I'm going to link these in the description box, and I'm going to link them. Like the browns will come, and the one at the top of the list of browns, that's the one I use the most. When I go to the blues, the one that's at the top is the one I use the most. The same with the reds, the greens, and all of that. Okay? And if I don't cover a color that you're interested in, like because I haven't used the purples or the oranges, just remember, you're laying in your shadows. You want the darker color. And remember that if you put that purple, that dark purple, on a lighter purple paper, and you put the second one is a medium shade purple, you're going to get two different looks. You don't need, 15 different shades of purple. All right, I hope this is helpful. And if not, I'm sorry. It's the best I can do. All right, remember to practice your CPR, craft, pray, repeat. Thanks for visiting me today, guys, and happy crafting. I love you all. Bye.